So in this video, we're gonna be introduced to your first project, which is creating a Zentangle sketchbook cover. This is an example here of what a Zentangle looks like, and we're gonna break it down and talk a little bit more about what goes into that design. Your learning objectives, or what I want you to take away from this presentation, is being able to define a Zentangle, so know what it is, and then how to use elements of art to create a Zentangle. So how to use line, pattern, and texture within your designs, creating these sketchbook covers. So what is a Zentangle? The Zentangle method is a drawing of structured patterns, and we call these patterns tangles. So when you look at this Zentangle here, you can see all of these different patterns that make up the entire page. You can create these tangles with combinations of dots, lines, simple S-curves, and so on. So you can look at this image here and see that there's this repetition of some of these designs that kind of come around here. There's simple zigzags, lots of little circles, so small details that make up the overall shape. And these simple shapes are called the elemental strokes in all Zentangle art. So we're going to be working with these different elements that go into your Zentangle designs. When you're creating them, Zentangles are non-representational, so they can be just simple, unplanned strokes and shapes. So don't worry about what that end result's going to look like. There's no up or down to Zentangle art, so it's all going to be something that kind of comes out as you're creating it, a simple design that you continue to go back and add detail to. You can most easily create your Zentangle art by rotating your image and rotating your sketchbook cover as you design and as you add these tangles together. Always keep your hand in a relaxed position as you're sketching, which we'll talk about. And you don't need to know what you're going to draw next or what your overall image is going to look like. You just need to know the steps that we'll talk about to get there. So here's a few more examples of just some simple Zentangle designs. You can see how they start out as a very simple curve or a simple shape, and then you just continue to add onto it to make an overall larger design. And we're going to practice and we're going to look at some of these different types of designs that you can try to incorporate into your larger shapes. So here's another one, how you have this smaller design with these steps that you can just simply follow, and then you're repeating it throughout in your shapes. And same thing, here's one with a circle creating a spiral, and then out from there you're just drawing lines to connect them. So when you look at the overall Zentangle design, it looks complex and like there's a lot that goes into it, but if you just look at these simple steps as we walk through them, it's all just basic shape and basic line that creates a really cool design. And here's another example. You can see how it starts out as just a box that's divided into 4, and then you're just adding simple lines around the box, adding a circle in the middle and connecting the dots. So this larger design looks complex, but when you look at the breakdown of it, it should be pretty simple to follow and be creative with. And here's another one. So again, you can see those steps right here, how they're just continuing the shape over and over. Like I was saying before, if you can write your name, you can create a Zentangle. You don't have to be an artist to create basic shapes and lines. So it's something simple that you can take really far and do a lot with and come up with some really creative, extravagant designs. But at the same time, you can keep it simple and you can come up with some basic designs if you're someone who maybe needs to review some of the basics of design and art as we're getting started here. All right, so you'll be using your sketchbook cover to put your Zentangle designs onto. Here's an example of a sketchbook cover with the Zentangle design. You can see the basic designs within each shape that are repeated, and then we're going to look at ways to take it a step further and add color or texture and value change to your Zentangle designs too. All right, here's a few examples of student practice designs. So these aren't actual sketchbook covers. I don't have any examples right now of those, but you can see looking at these designs, just some of the simple shapes that were created and practiced with. So this is one of the first things we're going to do is just a practice Zentangle design. It looks like it's complex, but if you look at those simple shapes or zoom in, you can see how they were able to break things down and repeat those simple designs. All right, so the next step is going to be getting started putting together your Zentangles through a practice. So if you go to the class website that's linked on Classroom, you can find the next section of the website that's right here called Practice Zentangle Squares. And there's also the video for that and then all of the steps listed.